Okay, well, no one's here yet, and I don't know if anyone's gonna come back because, like, everything in my life that was more complicated to come back than I thought it would be. Um, but I see one person's here. I don't know who. That was. I think I got out that I was able to tell my therapist that it was incredible, and yay, because it was. Oh, sorry. Heartbeat. Heartbeat. I'm not sure who's here, but I'm thankful you're here. Yeah. Um. Yeah. I told my therapist that being with Army, being hello Kelly, that was so much harder for me for some reason when I just you can click a continue stream thing, and when I tried, my camera wouldn't connect. I had to start a whole new one. Hello both of you. Yay. You guys are really special. I don't know if I should. Sorry, I question sometimes. I've only done, this is my second live stream. I know I've done two tonight, but I mean, second, did the New Year's one and this one. And I turn it where it's subscriber only mode just because I tend to be talking about personal things and I'm not looking to fend off um, unwanted comments from people who are trying to give me flack for BTS or my marriage. I'm not really interested in that. Heartbeat is so underrated. I love that it's so memed now because of JK doing his one man concert live streams that he was rocking out last year. And um and fans begging for him to sing Heartbeat and him having no idea what they were talking about. All to find out is just because of language barrier situation. They don't call it Heartbeat. But yeah, JK live streams are epic. They are unbelievable. Okay, so I was watching an unboxing of BTS World and I want the album now. So that was my first album. And I bought it used off of Amazon because well, it was the beginning of December of 2020 and I just decided these men are incredible. And I was really confused by all the albums because there's so many and there's so many versions of every album, and all of that was highly confusing. And then people talk about photo cards and whatever, and of course, as a new Army, you're like, I mean, if you're new into K-pop, you don't have a clue what anybody's talking about or why they care about any of this stuff. But I wanted a CD, and um, CDs are expensive, and we're now in a world. I'm Generation Napster. We didn't pay for anything. We bought CDs and then we stopped, and we illegally pirated everything because we were a bunch of 19-year-old a-holes that thought Napster was the best thing ever. And um, yay! And yeah, I was like, I'm going to buy CDs, but these CDs are kind of pricey. So anyway, I bought BTS World, I think used off of Amazon for like $10. And I loved it. I mean, I still love it. I would drive to and from my doctor appointments and play. And honestly, there's only like 6 songs on it, if I'm correct. Hobie's live streams are amazing. Metallica did put it in that. They said Napster. Sorry, you're looking at my mess. Mess. I mean, I haven't been meditating. I haven't done any art. Working on my marriage, and I was like, oh, I don't have any time or emotional space to work on me anymore. But then my marriage isn't getting worked on either. I'm sorry, do you hear how frustrated I am? I just got mad because we've been down this road before. And we know, he and I know too well where this leads if I don't take care of myself and I don't heal. And that's through you guys. Thank you. So, yeah, comes with, you can see I was like, I like perfection. I do. I also like used stuff. So, I like used perfection. Anyway, not a fan of that sticker that was clearly there, but I don't care. But get the pretty little holographic side. What does that say? I'm old. What does it say? Original soundtrack. And the CD itself. Oh, you watched an unboxing. Why am I unboxing mine? But I loved it. Just like I didn't know anything about any of this. And it was a throwback to my teen years. There being like a booklet with lyrics, even though I don't understand the lyrics because I can't read Korean yet. Yeah, there aren't a ton of songs in it, but they're so special. And I get really sentimental when I hear any of them. It really is all of it is. And then, so there's one, good gosh, need my glasses. Elbow. 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's 4 songs. There's only 4 songs on this CD. And then the rest are all instrumental. They're instrumental songs that are supposed to sound like the guys. Like each guy has their own song. Jimin's song is called Cake Waltz. And I love it. It is so, the pictures in this are beautiful. They really are. I mean, the guys take bad pictures, but they're so cute. I mean, oh my god. Can you focus it? Oh my god. They're too cute. Cake Waltz makes me think about Jimin's background doing contemporary dance and how just fluid and water and air like his body is when he moves. And Cake Waltz sounds like Jimin dancing to me. Like I always just see him dancing in my head when look at this baby. Oh my god, look at that little sassy head tilt. Hello, sugar. Oh my god, you're so cute. Look. He's looking for us. He's waiting for us to get there. Cake Waltz. Yes, Jimin's Cake Waltz. I mean, it's just called Cake Waltz. It's such a sweet song. And again, there's no lyrics, just instrumental. It sounds like an angel dancing. And wouldn't that be Park Ji-min himself? Oh my gosh. I mean, do you get more wholesome than Hobie with a golden retriever? Give me a break. Oh my gosh. And still, this man can't help but serve us a little bit of a smoldery side eye. A little bit of Pied Piper eye there. What is he doing that for? Sorry. Oh my god. I say that and then, hold on. Where'd you go? Sorry, I have no idea why I'm just blah, blah, blah. They are so cute it hurts. They are so cute that it hurts. Um, they are. And it's like the more you learn about them and the more you learn about other army, it hurts, but in the best way, which is what I told my therapist when he asked what it was like to be in LA. It's incredible. Cakewalk's really, I think it's beautiful. No pressure if you, JK, I'm taking over you. Yes, that Pied Piper, I'm taking over you. Yes. Yes, JK, you are. You have. Congratulations. You succeeded. You own all of us. Is it Tay who yelled that when they were up in the hot air balloon? That one tour? Army, you're ours. Um, they know it. And occasionally they make sure to remind us that they know it, aka the song Pied Piper or the song Butter. Yes, we know, and we're okay with that. Um, but you know, Army is just an incredible experience. I used to think that when the guys would make comments about what they're doing is for Army, and they want Army to enjoy the show, and that they consider Army the center of the universe. There's a part of me that, you know, that Tracy, you said kick out the inner voice, find your like soul inner voice, but that inner chatter, that chatter that says, oh, it's parasocial relationships. They're just saying that because you equal money, fans equal money. You know, that voice that some of us have actually heard people try to say to us, or you see online people saying it. So, Tracy, he did that actually at one of the Permission to Dance concerts. That you're mine, you're mine, you're mine, you're mine, you're mine. Yeah. But then the Army Your Hours was when they were up in the hot air balloon, I think in Japan at a concert. Though my facts might be not quite right on that. Um yeah, there that inner critic that takes the voice of society and shame and insecurities. That inner critic occasionally will tell me like, oh, when JK talks about caring about Army, he can't feel that way about them. You know, it's lip service, right? You know, we try to talk ourselves out of, we try to logically talk ourselves out of our hearts all the time. And Teresa, thank you. I wish I could hug you too. Um, yeah, our inner thoughts try to talk us out of our heart. So we try to talk ourselves into remembering these men don't know us by name. There's no way they actually care about us, blah, 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 blah. But then you look at JK's hand. I mean, you look at the tattoos that both JK and Jimin have permanently emblazoned upon their bodies. All of this means something very special to them. And then you listen to Namjoon's words from various speeches he's given, and you know that I get it now. I get why, even though they're the center of the concert, we are the focal point. If that makes any sense at all. Am I making any sense? Taze talked about that. And then when you're actually getting to be with Army, and what I told my therapist was, you can tell how much Army means to them. It brings them to tears. That's right. I mean, it's, the guys have been getting flack for cussing by some Army, but They'll always get flack for somebody from somebody for something. No, I was telling my therapist, my new therapist that I met with on Tuesday, I think. Doesn't matter what day, but still, um, when he asked what that was like, I said, I said, you go and Army we tend to wear beacons on us. We're hoping to be recognized, especially if we know we're at a concert in a city where concerts happening. So like we wear our BT21 stuff or our BTS logos and Moonchild and D2 and like we've got everything on us. I walked around Vegas with a giant orange flower and a bright yellow chimney on my head because I wanted people to find me. And I said often you end up talking to total strangers who were sitting next to you at a table or across from you at a stair rail, and you never introduce each other's names. You just dig right into each other's hearts. And that is incredible to me. That is incredible to me. I spent an entire day, well, entire half a day in Vegas, standing at the rail at the Bellagio, waiting for fountains to happen that never happened. They got caught off because of wind. I stood there for several hours on end talking with another army, and we never once exchanged names. We did exchange Twitter handles, so we found each other that way. She's incredible. Talking to her was a fantastic last experience in Vegas for me. We talked about the guys' hearts. We talked about what BTS has brought out in us. We talked about what we see happening across Army internationally because of BTS. We talked about what we want to be doing with our lives in 20 years. And there's a huge age gap between her and myself, like 20 years different. So, and none of that matters. Like, we talked about her job, but she didn't get in the nitty gritty of, yeah, this is what I do for a living, because that's not what Army do. We're more like, do you love your job? What are you doing right now? What are you hoping to do one day? And that's one of the people my sister met when we were in LA, and I have to get off here in a few minutes. Because there's no place in this entire house that has even an ounce of privacy. And my husband is not home right now, but he will be soon. so to make it less awkward, I'm going to like snip it when I find out he's coming home. I hope you experienced that one too. I sincerely hope that for all Army. One thing that Peaches had been to. She has no idea I call her Peaches. When Peaches and my sister and I were in LA, Peaches had seen them several years ago, actually, near her own town. Well, we stayed in a hotel. I was going to run an Airbnb in LA, and instead we ended up getting a hotel. Always stay in a hotel because your hotel will have Army in it. Now, the hotel that Laurie and I stayed in Vegas turned out not to be a very social type atmosphere. Maybe it's because of the location. I don't know. It was a great hotel, but it was an odd hotel at the same time. It's weird to explain. But I know for a fact our hotel was swarming with Army, and I know that because the last day when I stored my luggage in the luggage room, because I got kicked out of my room, but my flight wasn't for like 14 more hours. Their storage room was packed with Army merch, all the Permission to Dance merch, purple whales. I mean, just woof. And I was like, okay, we have. And in fact, funny enough, the girl that I stood with at the Bellagio, because I had gone down there to watch the fountains again one more time before my plane took off. She and I were sitting there talking, and she was like, "You were staying in my hotel. I saw you at the coffee house this morning." I was like, "What?" But yeah, you get to be around all these Army, the souls of Bangtan are swarming in a city where there's a concert. And in LA, sorry to get back to that, my sister was saying she somehow got in the conversation with an Army that was at the table next to us down in our hotel lobby. And Army always loved to ask each other, what was your gateway? What was your gateway song? What was your intro into the soul of Bangtan to realize that you connect? And for that woman, it was an episode of Run BTS. It wasn't even, she didn't even hear one of their songs or see one of their videos. She happened to stumble across a Run BTS episode and was so moved by the interaction between the men themselves, the love that she could see between the men themselves. And she said, if you watch the seven of them together and you don't see love, then that's on you. That's an unwillingness on your behalf to see that. And she said after that, she stopped trying to explain to people, if you don't see it, you don't see it. You should have asked to see the luggage. It was so crazy seeing the luggage room, and I'm like, oh my God, so many Army are staying in this hotel, and we had no clue. Our hotel was really peaceful, though, and had an incredible view of the Nevada mountain line. I swore my hotel informed me they couldn't honor my reservation 1 hour before my flight was leaving. I'm glad things turned out good. Because traveling can be really stressful. First world stressful, but it's still stressful. I mean, if you don't know where you're going to be, where to keep your stuff, how to get where you're going, that's stressful. Let me really get to the heart and soul of the person, a connection that most people yearn for all their lives. And that's exactly it. Like if you're talking with other Army, and again, I understand not every single Army is any way. Like we're not that homogenous. But Army is BTS's soul. And they have spent their lives cultivating their souls and their relationship with each other. And they have spent their entire professional lives building on that and encouraging their fans to build on that. And that's so spectacular and beautiful and rare. I've been doing a lot of soul work trying to get back into myself as I have felt. I feel like through all of 2022, I've just lost myself. It's like bit by bit, I was losing myself all over again. So I just started doing more soul work again, trying to unbury myself again. But to think about and talk about how, sorry, I'm so stuttery. It's like I'm lagging. It's my brain lagging. My brain's trying to make sense out of the way my new therapist put it. I decided I needed therapy to deal with how difficult this is to make space for myself and make space for the possibility that my marriage might work out. And not in regard to that exact scenario, but in regard to something else. He pointed out sometimes it's very, very difficult to hold two different truths at the same time because the two truths feel so different. If this one's true, then how is this one also true? I'm being very cryptic here. I'm very sorry. But what BTS has created And then Army create with each other this opening, this here's my chest open. And not for me to show you that I'm a superhero, but to show you that I'm a superhuman, that I'm full of heart, and pieces of it are painful or messy or ugly, but it is so rich with love and hope and enough for me to pour it onto you and to hug you with it and to hug them with it. That's the truth I want to be in, all the time. Um, Nothing's going to stop me from seeing them. I mean, that's my tip for those of you who have not gone to a BTS concert before. Do not dare try to book your flight for the day of the concert. Because every time I've flown, I mean, I've only flown twice now, but both my flights got canceled and then moved. And one time it got bumped by 7 hours. And I've heard people who couldn't get a flight until the next day. When we were in LA, the day of the concert, people were showing up at lunchtime to check into the hotel for the concert that night. I was like, that's ballsy. I mean, that's ooh. Always at least a day before the concert. Also, I've realized because flying might make your I'm sad that I feel so feeble. Traveling hurt. I was very thankful I had an entire day to basically lay in bed and cry. That sounds so pathetic. That sounds far more pathetic than I mean for it to sound. I thought I was gonna get to Vegas and be like, have energy. I'm gonna go down to the strip or whatever it's called, and I'm gonna find Heather, and I'm gonna find Kelly, and I'm gonna I was so excited. I had on the way to Vegas somebody who just found my channel and just found me on Instagram actually sent me a DM, and I was in my airplane and we started DMing each other, and I immediately was like, I would love to meet you. It'd be wonderful. And then I got to Vegas, and first of all, Vegas is really, yes, please make your hotel reservations the day the concert is announced. Lesson learned. Because also prices, not only do the rooms sell out, prices go up. Once the hotels figure out what's going out on, ooh, painful. No, yeah, I got to Vegas and I couldn't find my way out of the airport. Talk about feeling like a loser. I hurt so bad. The plane landed very late. I was super hungry and could not find anywhere to eat because all the restaurants in the airport were closed, and could not find my way out of the freaking airport. I was starting to cry before I even got out of the airport. Oh, it's okay. I'm trying to get back in better shape now. We'll see. Try to get hotel closest to the venue so you don't have to rent a car or take Ubers far away. So you didn't stay at a hotel close to the venue either city? Damn, Tear is so good. In LA, was there even a hotel close to SoFi? SoFi seemed out in a weird area. But I stayed at a hotel right next to the airport, which was swarming with Army. Hilton LAX is fantastic. If they perform in LA again, that is the hotel I will stay at again. You hear airplanes taking off and landing nonstop around the clock. It's actually kind of calming. I also was just having really high anxiety about my marriage falling apart when I was in LA. So I really hope to get to go to more and see, to spend more travel time with both Peaches and Laurie in a better state, so that I'm not so heavyweight on a trip. I felt really bad for both of you. Walking to this distance to the venue is good. I didn't realize with Vegas. When I just looked at the map, I thought because there's that huge highway, um, like an interstate between Allegiant Stadium and all the hotels. There's this huge mega freeway. So I thought it'd be impossible to walk to anyhow. And I even read that somewhere. It's like you can't walk to it. That's not true. There's a bridge that goes across. Not that any of you care who haven't been or whatever, but that bridge was closed off just for pedestrians to walk to the venue. And I had no clue that it was going to be that simple. So, like, if you stayed at Luxor or Excalibur or MGM Park or MGM Grand, basically, if you stayed anywhere on the strip, you could walk to it or you could walk to the monorail and then go from there. And I said after I left Vegas that I would not go back to Vegas again. I take that back completely. After being away from Vegas for a couple of weeks and being back entrenched in my own personal hell, I was like, I would totally go back to Vegas to see BTS. I've got it narrowed down what hotels I would stay at and which ones I would not stay at. I would totally go again. Next time I want to go 2 or 3 days before the concert, enjoy the city, meet with armies, do events if possible. I almost stayed at the Tropicana, which again, we were there different weekends. It wouldn't have mattered. Tropicana is what I was going to book. How was Excalibur? I saw ratings on YouTube that it's the single worst hotel in Vegas. So I was scared. But when Laurie and I would walk by Excalibur after the concert would end and we'd walk by, Army were coming and going in and out like crazy. And I was like, well, that seems fun, actually. I mean, again, if you're staying somewhere where everybody is and it's easy, you won't stay there again? Okay. That says something. I would want to stay at either the Delano, which I have reason to believe the guys may have been staying in the Delano. Does anybody know for sure? I met an army who ran into Tay, and I mean almost face to face ran into each other in the Delano. It's like, well, why would he be there? Oh God, am I even supposed to be? I mean, it's after the fact. Is it okay for me to talk about that stuff now? Like, I wouldn't dare. She didn't say anything until we were in an airplane on the way home because we wouldn't want to trigger anyway. I hope I didn't just overstep and do like a weird army thing of outing the guys somehow, because the guys' safety is first, most, and always. That's why we get mad when people lob gifts at them when they're on their trolley carts. Like, their safety is imperative at all times. So if I just overstep something, I'm sorry. Hi, Karina. So you think so too? Tracy was at the OYO. So was Heather. So yeah, an army that I met. I mean, I've already said it now. Ran into. I met her at the airport actually, and apparently it just recently it just happened, and she was shaking. She was a hot ass mess. Like, that girl was like, she looked like she was gonna burst into tears. But I saw she was wearing the Jimin hoodie, the You Never Walk Alone purple hoodie, and I ran over to her to give her a permission to dance ornament that I made, and I handed it to her, and she was in a daze. She was kind of like really frazzled. Anyhow, she was like, "Can I tell you something?" And I was like, "I don't know you, but yes, you can tell me something if you need to talk." And she's like, I just saw Tay. And then she's like, I've been wanting to scream. And she's like, but I can't because I'm trying to be really chill. And I was like, I'm back in. Anyway, there was a lot more to that story. She was a very respectful fan. She 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 said she gasped when they like right up against each other, and she said she looked up and she immediately gasped and then immediately felt bad that she gasped because that would have given away to him that she recognized him. She said she immediately just kind of like diverted her eyes and anyway, and then there was like more that happened. Proof it definitely was him. Anyhow, why am I still babbling about this? I'm so sorry. OYO was cheaper than Tropicana. OYO was priced. Is that what it's called? Is it called the OYO or is it like OYO or OYO? See, I wondered if they say two different places also. Because why not? You know? Laurie and I were funny. I mean, because we like we're normal army. We did not look for them. We weren't like, and if we had known where they were, we weren't gonna go hunt them. No, 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 none of that. But it was fun when Laurie and I were walking around being like, I wonder where they're staying and kind of guessing in our heads, like, you know, are they at the Bellagio? Are they at MGM Grand? Because it's like big and neat and there's Top Golf here, you know, like just kind of daydreaming all that stuff. But one of the rooms was signaling. Oh, with an U-bomb. Who wouldn't be a mess? Yeah. I mean that girl's that girl's reaction alone was enough to convince me that she had just met Tay, but or I say met Tay, bounced into him. She was respectful and she actually said that he seemed uncomfortable. That as soon as she gasped that he seemed very quickly on edge. And then she felt terrible that she had gasped and made him feel on edge. So she just and like went about her way. And anyway, again, yeah, we weren't stalkers exactly. Like we weren't like, ooh, like should we look for them or anything like that. It was just kind of as we're walking through the MGM Grand, we're like, well, it's a huge place. There's all kinds of shows here. This is where the live play stuff happening. They're catering to BTS and the army here. Top Golf is here. Like, wouldn't it be neat if they're up here and joking around? Like Laurie and I were joking around how neat it would be if they had their own like private poker room with Silk Sonic and some of their new friends up there high rolling together playing poker and just talking like when you saw Tay with, oh my gosh, why can't I remember his name all of a sudden? He won album of the year at the Grammys. Really cool guy. Oh my gosh, I can't believe because I blanked out because all things are Bangtan. And anyhow, I'm sorry, you're a very talented artist, and suddenly I can see your face and not your name. But yeah, when Tay, thank you, John Batiste. Yes, thank you. When they were out at dinner together, and the two of them were just having so much fun, vibing off of each other. So Laurie and I were daydreaming about all the people who our tannies might be vibing with and having a good time with, and what that good time might be like, and um, just how cool. I was, I'm sure all of you felt the same. Very happy that Bangtan got to experience so much here. Like in one regard, it was easy to be concerned. One thing that Laurie and I talked about when everything was first announced. Yes, Hobie and Lady Gaga. One of the things we first talked about when Laurie and I were discussing what to do in Vegas and things like the parties and the raves and stuff were starting to get announced was how sad it was that the guys couldn't partake in those things themselves. And in our head, it was almost kind of easy to think like damsel in distress. Our favorite humans that were there to celebrate are going to be locked up in a room hiding for their own safety. But then to get there and actually rather realize, one, as a whole, not everybody, but as a whole, Army is incredibly respectful and want the guys to be safe above all else. And then number two, that's also a city that really caters to, for lack of a better word, celebrities, keeping them safe, keeping them entertained, um, and realizing they have their own after parties, their own private parties, their own friends, their own dinners, and yeah, it is fun to imagine partying with the guys and hanging with them. Um, Probably run the opposite direction if I saw one of them. I have no idea what I would do, but I told Laurie. So she and I, our last full night there, had gone out on the strip to look for a seafood restaurant, which was an adventure all on its own. That's actually harder to come by than we thought. And anyway, and just to kind of check out the night sets and to get down to the Bellagio fountains, where I thought that the Dynamite Butter themed show was going to be happening around the clock. And we got up there at like 10 after 9 or something like that. Anyway, when we got up there, the next Bellagio fountain show that happened was like to classical music. And we were like, well, this is not BTS. And then somebody said, oh, yeah, that's only from 8 to 9 p.m. And I was like, oh, like we missed it. And it's kind of my fault that we missed it because I lollygagged on the way over here. I don't really know the origins of that term. I hope that's not somehow a hideous. I'll have to look up the origins of lollygag. Hold on. Sorry. Middle note. By middle note, I mean I have to write that down. Okay. Sorry. I really want to know where that word came from. But yeah, lobster on a stick. I was just telling Marcus about that a few days ago. Lobster on a stick ended up being good. And we ran into all these Army while we were there at the lobster on a stick restaurant. But when we finally got to the fountains and then it played classical music, I was like, oh man, we missed it. Okay, well, that's unfortunate. And so we were going to like just walk back up the strip and go catch the monorail. Well, I had a ton of my ornaments that I had made and I wanted to give them to Army. So every time I saw somebody wearing a permission to dance shirt or jacket or anything, or anybody who had a tata or anything hanging from their book bag, I'd run over and ask them how many and then hand them out little ornaments or I think my husband just got home. Maybe not. Or photo cards that I had made for the show. Anyhow, and yeah, luckily it took me so long because I kept running into Army the whole length of it that we were at the very, very end getting ready to like walk away. And all of a sudden, another fountain show started, and it was JK's line from Dynamite, the you know, and I screamed. I, at the top of my lungs, like blood curdle, screamed and stopped what I was doing. I mean, you would have thought JK himself. You would have thought Jungkook just came and picked me up to sing to me because I was so surprised and excited to hear him. And I was like, oh my God, we didn't miss it. So, like, but instantly I was like, oh shit. I hope that I never see them face to face because my ability to have any ounce of calm or poker face with them apparently is non-existent. Um, Tracy, did you look it up? Lollygag, also known historically as lollygag, comes into English in the middle 19th century, meaning to dawdle, however, also meant to fool around. So lollygag has more of a meaning than I realized, but at least it's not like got some sort of underlying racist connotation. I worry about sayings from my childhood because I have a lot of sayings from my childhood that I remember that I learned over the years are terrible. And you don't realize you're being raised by racists or in a racist community until you look up. Till you look up what words mean, and then you're like, oh, terrible word. Luckily, lollygag is not it. Yeah. See, Laurie can confirm I did scream. I hated that I screamed. I mean, I'm glad that I was that excited because that's who I am in my heart, and I don't get to be that person in the life that I'm normally occupying, which doesn't feel like my life at all. Hence the problem. Um, yeah. Racist family. Sometimes they don't even mean to be. Sometimes they do. Sometimes they grow up. Some people don't. By grow up, I mean get an education and a heart and think things out. That sounded more self-righteous than I meant for it to, but I grew up with a lot of racism around me. And then a lot of and then as fans of BTS, you start to see how many people who are consider themselves super progressive and super liberal in a lot of ways have no problem dishing racism out to Asian people. And so then you start learning about that. Born in Texas. Yeah. One of my army friends is from Texas and knows all that way too well. And that's exactly it. And sometimes people just grow up with a saying, not realizing they were racist terms. I'm trying to remember. There were a couple terms that I was using, like in college and in my 20s, until somebody pointed out. So now I'm afraid of anything that sounded weird from when I was a kid. I'm like, whoa, what does that word mean? Where did that come from? Clear bag. Clear bag was a huge giveaway. Yes, when you're looking for army, if somebody's walking around with a clear bag, like one day the first day, because Laurie and I went to two concerts, two nights in a row. The first day we were like, we're not sure where we're walking, but the girl in front of us has a clear bag. Follow her. I screamed when JK's line from Dynamite started, and I realized we were going to get to see the fountain show. That girl behind us screamed like no other. I have video from I've recorded the whole fountain show, and while I did not catch my own scream, the girl screaming behind Laurie and me, just screaming over and over again, and then occasionally screaming, "I love them so much!" Like her enthusiasm was wild. I can't believe I didn't post. I mean, I haven't posted. I didn't post you guys, and now I'm like, it's been a month. Who even wants to see? I don't know. I don't. I haven't known what to post. I have so many videos I want to post. I have one video I've made. It's not completely finalized about post-concert depression, and another video I made, which was Laurie and me in Vegas and seeing Permission to Dance in Vegas. By the way, club seats are the bomb. Laurie and I accidentally got those for night 2. That was fantastic. But I've got those 2 videos and I haven't posted them. I still want to watch Bulletproof the Eternal because I haven't even seen that yet. I've just been scared to come back here and talk. Between really insulting that one commenter on my video about my fall, and several people gave her comment a thumbs up. So I was like, oh my God, it's not even just her. Other people feel like I have insulted the character of Pak Jimin and Koreans, and I did not mean to do so. And then feeling like I needed to put myself aside. It's weird. Those seats were so good. Sorry, I won't stay back here on this again for long, but it's just weird when you're I'm working on me. And really the people who are helping, and that sounds really selfish, but the people who are helping me work on me are you and these men right here. And in 1 year, the personal healing that I've found from Bangtan Souls was more than I knew could exist. And then when you take a marriage that has fallen, and I'm having such a hard time putting this into words, and it sounds respectful still, but it's like, okay, so how much energy am I allowed to continue to put into when I'm supposed to be pouring everything into my marriage? And it sounds dumb to choose. This is as close as I get to them. I mean, I saw them in concert. But in the last few days, I had to remind myself, this is the same. I've brought up this existential question multiple times. To be Army, especially I think an older Army. I'm not a younger Army, so I don't know for sure. But you definitely hit a point where you have to ask yourself, if my marriage falls, or if my job falls apart, or if whatever goes wrong in my walk around everyday life, is it because of BTS? Did BTS ask me to give up anything so that I can devote more time to staring at their lovely photos? No, they haven't. The only thing BTS has asked me to do, the only call to action they've given me, and they've given it to me over and over and over again, is to choose myself, to listen to myself, to fight for myself, and to have faith in myself. Is to love yourself. Yeah. Just reading your comments there, it's just boom, 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 boom. Yeah. Selfish is not a bad word sometimes. It's not bad to put yourself first. My sister has had to remind me, because she's heard the worst places I've been in the last month. She has reminded me to fight for myself. That I'm worth it. That I'm worth that I may not have energy to be the primary fighter for my marriage or anything else, if it comes at the expense of taking care of myself and healing myself. And I had to tell my husband that a few days ago during an argument. Is the path we're on leads to me not being here. It leads to me not even being alive. In which case, does it, how much does it matter that I went to therapy this time. Sorry, I'm on such a tangent here. I went to therapy this time. I've gone to therapy many times before in my life, and for large chunks. And it was always to try to fix me. Every time. It was because I was trying to find out what was wrong with me. Why I wasn't fitting in with my marriage or my family. Why I wasn't having the type of relationships that I wanted in my life, the friendships that I want. What was wrong with me that I even wanted anything different? Because if you look at paper, at everything, everything's great. I'm spoiled to ask for anything different. Um, but this time when I started therapy, it wasn't for that at all. It was for support and finding and keeping my voice. I don't I don't know how to finish the sentence. There's nothing wrong. I mean, I've learned through Army, I've learned through Bangtan Souls that um, while we all have things to work on, communication and patterns and defensiveness and very human things to work on, yes, every single one of us. And sometimes those things might surface kind of gnarly and be a big hiccup in a moment. But if the problem is who you are, if the problem is what you really enjoy in life or what you really care about, then that's actually not the problem. The problem is you're trying to fit in a puzzle that you don't go to. I feel like a fortune cookie, and a bad metaphor all at once. I'm sorry. Watching Our Blues because I wanted to hear Jimin's song. He has helped me to. Ooh. I'm going to have to check that out. See, that's the thing. I'm a mess. I love messy me. And I'm not, again, there are things to work on. There's proper ways to communicate. But at the same time, for me, messy me includes accepting that I'm really, really not perfect. I'm a little scatterbrained. I'm a little loosey goosey with a. That's another thing I should look up. With scheduling things or going with the flow, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. But like, I get loud. I get very excited. I cry very easily. You all know this very well. I get screechy and excited. I'm okay with this. Some people find it really obnoxious. Okay, then I'm just not your cup of tea. That's fine. I have before left my hometown. This is when I was in college. I had somebody in the car with me. Left my hometown to drive back to school. It was like a Sunday night. We had to get back to school to campus for classes the next day. And we drove for about 45 minutes. I drove for about 45 minutes before we realized that we were going the wrong direction. On the interstate. Like, this is not a thing where you take turns. All I had to do is pay attention to a single exit sign, and I would have seen that the numbers were going the wrong way, but I wasn't paying any attention. I laughed. I kind of was like, hey, we were just meant to be able to have longer time to talk tonight because we were having a good time. We were having a great time talking. That person was so mad at me. That person was so mad at me. And then was mad at me for the next 3.5 hours as we drove the rest of the way. Because they were like, you wasted so much of our time. And I was like, to what? Get back and do nothing? I mean, we would just get there and talk anyhow. Anyway, sorry, I'm babbling. Totally off topic, but colorful eyeshadow suits you very. Thank you. Thank you very much. I used to wear a ton of colorful eyeshadow and I love it. And I didn't wear any makeup at all through most of 2022 because I've been sliding into just total. I mean, I've had 3 flat out panic attacks in the last 2 weeks. I've blacked out from hyperventilating. That sucks. I mean, that's kind of when I was like, this is absolute. But then I put some. I think I wore colorful makeup for the that. I love that, by the way. Oh my God. Suga has never looked more gorgeous. These men are just so radiant right now. I thank God that I did not see any of them in Vegas because I would have screamed. I might have exploded. Watching that made me want to explode. I don't know if I can handle the video coming out in June. I don't know if I'm ready for this. Geographically challenged. I that was like I love geography, but I haven't been in school in 20 almost 25 years. Yoongi is so beautiful. He has me wrecking everybody. However, in Vegas, JK and Tay were lethal, and Yoongi was so cute with his little train conductor outfit and shaking, wiggling his little booty everywhere. Oh my goodness! Finally, worked through most of my stuff myself. Just make suggestions for. So I found a therapist that is Jungian, and I'm super excited by it. Um, I've gone to a lot of therapists. I hunted for this one because I knew if I'm going in a different path, I didn't want to do talk therapy. I want to do symbolism therapy. It sounds so nutty. And like talking about analyzing dreams and art therapy. Because of BTS and like me getting into Map of the Soul, I was like, I want a therapist who wants to do shadow work. So I did a lot of hunting and found this guy, and I'm super excited about him. It's my bias record from the get go. Beautiful and fierce. He is such a like little gangsta badass that you just want to squeeze at the same time. Oh my gosh. Oh, Yoongi. Oh, down to the heavy shadow work. Oh my gosh. I just want to hug you. I feel really humbled and thankful. I'm I am so thankful for you, for all of you. And Laurie, spending time with you and what we were able to do together is the highlight of my 2022 so far. I'm sorry that I have made you doubt that for even a minute by my anus or me talking. That came out sounding really weird. MIA ways. Sorry, if you didn't hear it, then good for you. If you did, I'm very sorry that it came out the way it did. Yeah, by being MIA. And my post on Instagram about feeling very detached from the strip, that was not your fault at all. Um, one of the things I've realized from being back from Vegas and becoming more and more silent over the last weeks is Amber, what happened to your Instagram? I am so sad. Every time I get on Instagram, I'm so sad for you and so sad that I'm like missing you. And instead have this Cash App person hounding me. I'm sorry that you just heard the wrong thing. But yeah, I don't know how to report that for you and get that returned rightfully to you. Um, yeah, I struggled with a variety of things when I was in Vegas. And then I came home and struggled so much immediately with my marriage. Like it just started to tumble downhill again. The patterns resurfaced, old patterns. And the thing is, it hurt worse than ever because I thought we had had a breakthrough. I thought we had made agreements. I thought we were on a path to progress, which my therapist told me to give up hope. He said, let go of that. Um, but coming home and dealing with a variety of things made me realize all the struggle that I felt in Vegas from being detached from the strip, my body still hurting, um, et cetera, et cetera. Oh, good. I'll have to find you on Instagram now. Um, lack of money when I got home and having to deal with our life stuff. And post concert depression is a totally normal, real thing, I think, especially for BTS Army. And my therapist said that when you know something's going to be exquisite, you do have to prepare for a come down because it's inevitable. It just was so intense because I thought we were working on stuff and then came home and it felt like not only was I pulled away from Army and from my Bangtan souls, I gotta go. I love you guys.